Oh, well, it's funny. I don't think of myself as a brave person. Although I do get that a lot. It's, we're all afraid of different things. I certainly am afraid every time my kids leave the house. But I really don't like lies. And I suppose my anger at the thought of a world in which most Americans are manipulated by a lie makes me angry enough that the fear disappears. I really don't like the way families have been ripped apart by this. And I don't like the way that parents have been so manipulated. Parents have been told, if you don't transition your children, your child, she will likely kill herself. That's about as coercive and manipulative and frankly immoral a lie as you can put to a parent. It's not true, and in the vast majority of instances, there's no basis to it. And it's an awful thing for a medical provider to say to a parent who's desperate and very worried for her child or his child. So that makes me sufficiently angry. And look, this is an ideology that has harmed. I was talking to an editor at one of the big mainstream media outlets, and they reached out to me because, of course, now they're all jumping on the bandwagon or whatever. Now that and I said to them, and this is true, in the 3 years since my book was published, that it took for your paper to finally admit the harms of these drugs and procedures, tens of thousands of American children have been harmed.
Yeah, it's clear you're not thinking about your courage, you're thinking about the people you're helping. And you're very drawn to helping children, adolescent children, and parents. And there are other issues that are similar that draw your type people in. And I'll just leave it at that. And I thank you personally for that, because without people like you, we'd be toast. As a society, we would be.
Oh, well, it's very kind of you to say. The thing is, it was interesting because when I first wrote the book, conservatives did not want to deal with the issue. The liberals were nervous about it because of the left. They were afraid of the left. They're still afraid of the left. And conservatives didn't want to touch it. They were kind of thought, that has nothing to do with me. Yuck was their reaction to, the various, and these are grisly surgeries. They're not easy to read. It's not easy to look at the pictures. And so they kind of wanted to turtle a little bit. And at some point I just realized, people are getting really hurt. Parents are being misled. Children are being, taken apart. And families are being ripped apart. And so at some point I realized, if people don't get their big boy pants on and deal with this issue, it's just going to keep marching on, and it has. I mean, this gender ideology has done a great deal of damage and continues to.